This is the Doctor bringing you a Battle Brothers series featuring the Crimson Wolves Company. This was a company created by someone who had posted on Reddit. It's Boney Bobbin. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. But he had posted about how he was at day 103 and he felt like his company was struggling and he wanted to know how best to progress from that point on. And he had sent me a save file of the company at that state. And I am really interested in picking up on a campaign sort of in the middle of a playthrough where the company may not be in the best shape, but with perhaps a bit of tweaks and some successful battles, the company can grow to become really strong. So I just want to begin by analyzing the state of the company. We know it's day 103. The difficulty is beginner economic and veteran combat difficulty. And we can see that the company does actually have plenty of money, 8,000 crowns. That's a lot. Along with plenty of tools. Provisions, of course, are easy enough to buy. Plenty of tools and meds. And there are 50 members in the company. So, reviewing the members, I did take a quick look through. Um, there aren't any like super high level characters or any characters with amazing gear, but let's just go through them one by one, see what the current state is. So first we have Rupert here. He's a day tailor. His stats, unfortunately, are not great for level 6. With 53 melee attack and 57 range, I mean, 53 melee attack is something you could get on a level 1 character. And if we unequip all his gear, in fact, let's just sort that, we can see that his other stats are not particularly impressive either. So this character, unfortunately, I'm going to start renaming them in the convention I do, which is just to name them after their background. This character with his stats, unfortunately, is not what I would consider an endgame or really any useful character. I like to call these guys martyrs. Their job is to go into the most dangerous situation, and if they survive, great. If they don't survive, that's all right too. The next character we have here is Alfred. This character, unfortunately, has seen better days. Now, he has been with the company since almost the beginning. He's been here for 99 days. But since that time, he's taken some pretty bad permanent injuries. Traumatized, which is minus 40% resolved, and broken elbow joint, which is minus melee range skill and melee defense. This has left Alfred, unfortunately, in a rather poor state as a fighter. His stats are just across the board, unfortunately, not useful. He does have a temporary injury, a pierced chest, but minus 20% fatigue is not a big deal. The problem is his attack and defense stats are too low, and he has such bad resolve. You can't even stick him on the front lines without him like wavering at the first sign of trouble. And you can't stick him in the back lines because his attacks skills are not great. So this is a character who I will like 99% dismiss. I don't want to dismiss him just yet because I want to see what other recruits I can get, but this, unfortunately, I don't even consider a usable character at this point. I bet we could just send the character off to try to get him killed. I would bet on him not living very long, but I feel bad about doing that to my men, and I often just pay them the compensation and be done with it. The next character we have here is a militia background, Audemars. And his stats look quite good. He's got stars in all the right places. 2 traits. The fear of undead is pretty bad. That's probably the worst fear you could get. But hate for greenskins is a good thing. Stats in all the right places at level 5. We do have a level up. I don't see any reason not to take the good bros here. +2 melee is a little disappointing. level 5. So at level 11, he has 6 more levels to go. So on average, we'll get 2.5. So that is 15 more melee skill, putting it at 87, which is plenty. This is definitely a solid two-hander candidate. Probably a great sword. His resolve is fine. Hit points are a little low. It's interesting because 3 perks here are unassigned. And we gotta assign these perks because we need these characters to be useful right out of the bat. On that topic, on the Martyr here, we should also assign a perk. I want to assign something that makes him slightly more useful and not more survivable. I kind of want this character to get killed in combat. I don't even think recover is that great. Brawny would allow you to shield wall a bit more. I think we go fast adaptation, though, to give you a bit of killing power. Now, on this character, we actually have plenty of perks to work with. We have student, and then 3 free perks. Since this character is going to be solid and an endgame potential character, we want to keep you alive. Your hit points are a little low. I feel like we have to take Colossus to fix it. 72 should be fine. Steel Brow will keep you alive against crits. And then if we're going to make you a two-hander, I love rotation on my two-handers. But I think a lot of other characters actually have rotation in this company. So I'm going to skip that a little bit and go for Brawny to give you... Yeah, you're going to go Battle Forge for sure. So give you Brawny so you have a bit more fatigue to work with for now. And then you'll get rotation. Next we have a Miller. Millers can be decent. He's got 3 stars in melee attack, which is fantastic. His fatigue for level 7, 114, is not terrible, but could be better. Defense, again, not terrible, but could be better. Plenty of health. Resolve is fine. This character seems to me like a pikeman. He also got a level up. Ugh, +1 melee defense is so disappointing. Don't think you actually need more hit points. A bit more resolve does not hurt. So, you also already have Brawny. This feels to me... so you have 4 more levels, right? On average, the minimum you'll get is 12 more attack, which will put you at 88, which is pretty okay. And you could high roll and get into the 90s. You'll have enough fatigue to work with. We could even potentially make you a two-hander. Determined is really good. But I'm thinking a pikeman probably makes the most sense here. Give you Polearm spec. So let's see. You have 2 perk points to use right now. And you already have 4. So pikeman obviously will need both. So 4 of these are locked in: Battle Forge, Killing Frenzy, Berserk, and the Polearm Mastery. Then we just need... I don't know if we actually take Steel Brow on this character. We're definitely going to need Recover at some point. Probably Indomitable being the last perk. That seems good. So of those, what's the most important? I'm thinking we want Pike Mastery. We have some extra pikes, right? Yeah. Plenty of extra pikes. So let's go Pike Mastery or Polearm Mastery. And we'll get you Berserk right now. Battle Forge is good. Normally I would pick that first, but the company doesn't have like a super good collection of heavy armor. So the Battle Forge effect is much better if you have heavier armor. For now, let's get some DPS. Berserk is very solid. And you're going to use a pike. Put you on the back. Something, well, we'll leave you in the first rank for now. Next we have one of our starting companions. This character seems incredibly strong. He's got iron lungs and strong. His stats are incredible. 133 fatigue, 88 hit points. He does have Colossus. Melee skill, not the best, 68. But he's got resolve. Like, the only weakness with this character really is the melee skill. But with such a ridiculous fatigue pool, what I'm thinking is this character could be a mace expert. Maces are a really good weapon. There are some maces in the inventory. So I'm thinking we definitely want a mace expert or two. They're super useful. So I don't see any reason not to do that right away. With your 88 hit points, you can actually survive some attacks. Like Iron Lungs combos super well with maces because if you have Mace Expert, the stun, let's just take the skill right now, or Mace Mastery is what it's called. The stun is 19 fatigue, and you get 15 back plus 4, so you get 19. So you are guaranteed to stun every single turn if that's what you want. So very strong. With Mace Expert, fast adaptation, I think, can be good to repair the low melee skill. I've had success with that. Backstabber is another good choice. But I feel like fast adaptation is a little better with the one-handed weapons and for melee skill that's somewhat low there. So we'll leave you equipped with the mace because we definitely want that. Next we have Bertho, a fisherman. Now, your stats also seem respectable. Nothing wrong with your hit points. Fatigue's a little low. Melee skill is solid. Very nice melee defense. These are tank level defenses potentially. But with 73 melee skill, it seems a bit of a waste to use as a dedicated tank. What I think this character could benefit from is being a spearman. He's got the attack, he's got the defense. Resolve is a little low, but we can repair that. Fatigue could potentially be a bit of a problem. Spears are quite fatigue intensive, especially with a shield, but we might have to give you somewhat lighter armor. Like lighter heavy armor, and focus a bit on upping your fatigue. But I do want to start getting some spearmen out there. So spear mastery makes sense to me. Like having at least one spearman is super useful. I'm not sure if recover is what we want here. Underdog, you might get surrounded. We might have to send you into some dangerous situations. Underdog combos very well here, and we have to take this eventually. So, that seems good. Next we have Heinrich, another militia. You've got solid fatigue, stars in 2 of the right places. I mean, you're only level 3, and your melee skill and melee defense are absolutely solid. Hit points a little low, but we can fix that with Colossus. All in all, you're a solid character. So you have 8 more levels. 8 times 2.5 is 20. So you get to 86. This is another potential two-hander candidate. So definitely a solid character. We want to try to keep you alive. Next, we have Sigward. He's another miller. But unfortunately, his stats are not fantastic. He has Dastard, which is one of the worst traits in the game. He starts out with Wavering, meaning he gets minus 10% to everything right off the bat. That's pretty bad. He does have plenty of hit points, so... And he's built almost as a hybrid, it looks like. Seems like there was some plan to make this character potentially some sort of hybrid. My feeling is throwing spec? Some sort of throwing spec, but there's no throwing weapons in the company. Not quite sure what to do with you, except you're not long-term material. So I'm going to put an M in front of it for Martyr. Not sure what we do with you. Next we have Yangold. He's a hunter. Hunters are always solid range characters. Nothing wrong with this hunter. He has 1 star in the right place. Fatigue's a little low, but that's not a big deal. He has decent range defense. Plenty of resolve, which is actually quite decent. Also has Optimus, so he can get the Confident pretty readily, which will be a significant DPS boost. So this character is solid. I want to keep him alive. Hunters, he's already got Bullseye, Anticipation. If we take Steelbrow and Nimble, this character should pretty much never die. So I like to make sure. I think archers are the most valuable asset. These are assets that are hard to replace. So I want to make sure my archers live. Once they live, they can just annihilate all sorts of human type or humanoid enemies. Anything that's living, archers are really good against, except for orc warriors. But pretty much everything else, archers can destroy. So seems to me like you are a solid keeper. Next we have Volmar, who apparently a sergeant, or he has the sergeant title, but he does not appear to me to be a sergeant. He doesn't have the resolve. He does have an insane fatigue pool. Looks like hybrid stats, meaning he's going. Yep, got polearm mastery. Probably give you crossbow mastery. You're the one who should be using crossbow. Let's just do that before I forget. Your the supremely high fatigue. All right, these are lancers. We're gonna make you a heavy lancer. You have phenomenal fatigue, which means you can put on some heavy armor and potentially even tank for us. You don't want to be tanking in general due to your low defenses, but in a pinch, I mean, this is a character who could potentially use like 300 chest armor. You don't want to use 300 head armor. You want to use something with like -1 range, maybe like well, not that armor, but I think there was like 140 or 150 armor that's -1 vision. You want to use something like that for the head. And this character should do a pretty good job in general of being a lancer, so definitely solid character. Next we have another companion, an archer with iron lungs. I mean, this character is insane. Any sort of archer with iron lungs, I mean, there's not much else to say except this is an amazing character. They already got bow mastery and good defenses. Don't have steel brow, but that's okay. Nimble is by far the best defensive perk for an archer, so the no-brainer. We have to pick it immediately. This character do not want to die under any circumstance. And we have another companion. This guy is Bjorn. He is athletic with iron lungs. That seems also insanely strong to me. This is the beginning companion who I usually make into a two-hander. Now, his base fatigue, unfortunately, is quite low. Lower than I would expect at this point, which is definitely unfortunate. Thinking this might be a hammer user. Hammers could get by with somewhat lower fatigue. A two-handed hammer user can be quite devastating. And if we're going to do that, we want to keep you alive for sure. I'm actually not 100% sure if we need Steelbrow on you due to your relatively large hit point pool. But if you're going to be a hammer user, you're definitely going to need Battle Forge. You're definitely going to need Underdog thinking. Alright, we also have a Historian who's like tiny insecurities level 1. This stats are terrible. I don't think there's too much to say about this guy except he's not going to be used. Also have another guy, Heinrich. Apparently this guy has also been at the company for a long time, 74 days, but he's got 3 permanent injuries, so he's still not. He's still better than this guy, the Miller, because he at least has 65 melee skills, so he could sit in the back and pike some enemies to death. But this is not a character we want to be keeping around. Oops. And finally, we have the company sergeant. He's a monk with asthmatic, which is the single worst perk or trait in the game. -3 fatigue recovery is devastating. He's also not got the best starting fatigue. He does have insane resolve. This guy's level 5, and he doesn't even have fortified mind. And he has, like, with the sergeant sash, 85 resolve. As a bannerman, we gotta get you more resolve. So you have 106 resolve at level 5. If only you did not have asthmatic, you would be a keeper for sure. Unfortunately, as good as your resolve is, asthmatic is so bad, this is not a long-term character. We got to get a better bannerman, because there are fights where you are going to be spamming rally, and asthmatic prevents you from spamming rally. Still, he is a bannerman, and we should be feeling him in a lot of fights just to provide that passive buff. He's not going to be doing much, except like buffing everybody's resolve by 10, but that by itself is already very strong. So, let's next review the inventory. The company has a wide collection of weapons. There's even a famed item, this shield, which is an upgraded heater shield. This is a really nice shield, actually. A standard heater shield has 20 defense and 14 fatigue. This thing has 24 defense, so that's already great, and less fatigue. So this is an excellent, excellent shield. There's also a piece of 210 armor. But otherwise, the company basically has raider gear. Lots of tier 2 weapons, plenty of flails. The good thing is there's quite a wide collection of weapons, which adds a lot of flexibility. I think that's a really good thing. In terms of armor, it's pretty much all raider armor except for a single 210 piece and a 130 piece. Doesn't seem to be any sort of attachments. No dire wolf attachments or anything like that. But that's alright, those attachments are easy enough to make. There is a 250 head armor, like the 210 plus the 250 can be quite a strong combo. Not that I have a good two-handed weapon for you right now, but you do have Battle Forge, right? So you should, you could even go up, like, double gripping that sword and doing a bit of damage, or something like this. I've often made one of my characters... The Iron Lungs helps a ton. I've made one of my characters just be equipped pretty simply with a sword, because they're very fatigue efficient, some heavy armor. That way you can go up and tank some hits for us. Just generally be useful. So how do we want to gear up the company? So first of all, we want to field our monk bannerman, that's for sure. We want to give you relatively light armor. The lightest helmet really we can get. This is gonna have to do. You have 69 fatigue, but you're gonna run into serious problems very quickly. Oh, I should, Alright, but that'll do. Next, let's equip this characters with the right mastery. So you're a spearman. 79. That should be fine. Maceman, you have phenomenal fatigue. But you don't have Battle Forge yet. Let's give you the next best set of armor and a heater shield. Yeah, you have 93 fatigue. We gotta get you some better armor so you can take advantage of it. Next, let's equip you up. You're sort of the best character in the company, so you get the best armor. You're gonna get a dagger. Go to the front. You should do quite well. You're a pikeman. You don't need the best armor. Something like this should be fine. You have actually plenty of fatigue after this. back. Oh, we should do the archers, of course. Because you're nimble, I really hate the vision restriction. We gotta get you a better helmet, but for now, you have nimble. We gotta get you... Ugh. I don't know if I can equip this. It's so bad without steel brow. I think we might have to take the slight hit to vision for now. And then my other archer... Same story. Better helmet. Not sure what to do about you yet. You're a lancer. I want to give you most of -1 vision. Shouldn't equip a -2 vision helmet. That would limit usefulness. You don't have quick hands yet. Oh no, you do have quick hands. Interesting. You could actually, with your fatigue pool, equip the shield in case you get attacked. This is quite a potent, very flexible combination. So we have the back line for the most part. Something looking like this seems pretty good to me. This character, who is actually semi-valuable, let's try to keep you alive, give you an axe in the back. You could, I mean, that to me makes sense. Alright, now, who else in the front line? I don't think anybody has shield mastery, so... Thinking, well, you have fatigue. Not sure who to give the shield to just yet. Maybe this character, because he's actually kind of valuable. Flails are very good early game weapons. You have plenty of fatigue to use a flail. 40 defense, that's solid. Really, really good, actually. This is a martyr. Your attack is horrific, so you gotta get a boar spear so you can do some sort of damage. Just give you some basic equipment. I don't even want you with a kite shield, probably, so you could, like, actually draw fire. That's a good thing. Well, we can't equip these two because they're so bad. And then let's equip this Miller. Dastard's not good. You're also pretty expendable. Yeah, I was thinking maybe you get throwing weapons of some sort. But we don't actually have a throwing weapon. You could get a crossbow. I'm not sure what to do with your perk point just yet. But yeah, we got 3 solid characters in the front we want to keep alive. And probably you. And then 2 characters who are disposable who we want to get killed off. Now, I noticed that we don't have enough daggers. Definitely going to need to get more daggers. The good news is daggers are easily farmable off of the brigands at this point. Alright, I think this setup for the company looks good. Let's start repairing a couple of these items that we can sell. We have some extra heater shields. So I don't want to drop below 60 fatigue. And this character I kind of want dead, so we're going to give you the heater. Maybe even a kite shield. Let's repair the heater shield, though. Yeah. And, of course, there is a spare puppy. Let's give that to someone who could use it. Beautiful. Ooh, we have a hawk. That's awesome. Falcons are super useful. Give it to... I like to give it to a pikeman of some sort. We actually have plenty of dogs, which is great. Dogs are a super good tool. Alright, that concludes the state of the company. I think this company is in a good position, but we do want to get aggressive, making more money, taking on good contracts, and getting a chance to get better loot, especially better weapons and armor, so we can tackle some of the harder content in the game. I did review the map a little bit. It looks like there are plenty of camps that have been found, but not yet cleared. being able to clear these camps will be a really good thing for the company's bottom line. You can make a lot of money from them. Plus, you get a chance at a famed item. So getting those camps will be a pretty high priority. In addition, we're starting on the southern part of the map. There are 4 ports, plus another port over here. So this is not a port. Or is it? I don't think this one's a port. So I guess we have just 3 ports. So this is great because this gives us an opportunity to buy nets, and we can use the quick travel to pop between these settlements, take on contracts quickly to make more money. Unfortunately, I don't think any of these settlements have a weaponsmith or armorsmith. In fact, the closest one is here, Hawkdorf. There's a weaponsmith, and then we have to go pretty far north to get to even further north, I think. Weaponsmiths and armorers, and we're gonna need to buy various pieces of armor and weapons if we want to gear up quickly. So it looks like the best one might be there. So that's gonna be an objective. We're probably gonna try to see what quick contracts we can get in the southern part, buy a whole bunch of nets, then go ahead and start headed north and look to buy some better weapons and armor. I would say the primary objectives are 1, screen for some better recruits. We need 1 or 2 more range recruits. We need a better bannerman. And otherwise, we're just going to be on the lookout for solid melee frontliners. And then are going to focus on getting better gear and levels for our brothers. And then we're going to try to tackle some of the tougher content. Let's see how soon we can do it. This is day 103. I don't know if the crisis has triggered. It can definitely trigger around this time or possibly earlier. I think part of the crisis depends on how strong your company is. I've always just had the crisis trigger like around day 80 to 90-ish. But I do know, like, if your company is not strong enough, the crisis won't trigger. It looks to me like the company should probably be strong enough or very close to being strong enough for the crisis to trigger. So we might have to deal with that, whatever the crisis is. Or maybe there is actually a crisis going on right now. We just don't have the ambition for it. Hard to say. In any event, if there is a crisis, we will defeat it. And then, the primary objective is just to gear up, be able to tackle some of the harder content in the game, and let's see how fast we can do it. I don't think we're going to do any sort of fights or anything in the first video. This is mostly just overview and my analysis and setup. But in the next video, we're going to get into some of these towns. We're going to see what contracts are available, start getting into some fights. Thank you for watching. Until next time.